Hi, I'm George Wall with Eagle Industries.
And I'm Eric Long.
And what we're going to do today is we're going to walk you through a bunch of our products, everything ranging from weatherization to drop prevention to fall protection and even some abatement stuff that we have. You know, we're not going to go into every single detail on these products, but what we're meant to do is just give you some use cases and some best cases as it relates to our products.
What are we going to talk about first, George?
Well, the first thing we're going to talk about, Eric, is this item right here. What do you see?
I see a bolt.
And most people would see a bolt, or they might see a nut, or they might see a rod or something else, some other small metal object. But what I see, Eric, is a potential lawsuit, is a safety hazard. I see a mom or dad potentially not coming home to their family. And the reason for that is these objects can fall below and strike with some pretty impressive force. According to the Drop Object Prevention Scheme, also known as the DROP Scheme calculator, it actually takes the weight of the object, how far it falls, and then comes up with the potential impact, everything ranging from no big deal all the way to serious injury or death. Just a few years ago, OSHA recorded 52,000 incidents of people being struck by falling objects. That's not even including situations where they weren't recorded, so it could easily be thousands more of these incidents happening on a potential job site. This is why it's so important to have measures in place to stop dropped objects. What Eagle can do is offer passive job site solutions that can help mitigate some of the risk and increase job site efficiencies. The product I want to talk about now is Eagle's vertical debris netting. If you've ever visited an industrial site, you're going to notice tens, hundreds, if not thousands of scaffolding units spread across the unit while they're doing particular work out there. Each of those scaffolding units has a guardrail to keep workers from falling off the edge of that scaffolding. But unfortunately, while that guardrail does a pretty good job to keep workers from falling off, it doesn't stop any debris from potentially falling down and hurting someone below. So what Eagle came out with is our 48-inch orange safety debris netting that simply easily attaches to the top rail here, and then would just slide right underneath the toe board or to a bottom rail. And that's going to provide a pretty good protection against debris falling off.
George, is this product only offered in orange?
That's a great question, Eric. While orange is obviously the most commonly used color for safety reasons, Eagle has a variety of different colors. The reasons why you might see different colors on an industrial site is because they could have multiple different jobs going on simultaneously. So they could take an orange for one particular site or do a red for another site or a blue for another site so workers know where to go on that particular job.
So these color options are available for different zones on the job site?
That's exactly correct.
So outside of the color options, what other size options are available, George?
It's another great question. Obviously 48-inch, due to the handrail being at about 48 inches is the most popular, but we also have a 24-inch that can easily be connected to the mid-rail here. And then we have sizes ranging above that can fully cocoon the scaffold and create a full enclosure.
What's the largest size that we offer, George?
The largest size that we offer is 20 foot, but keep in mind we have a manufacturing sew shop, so really the largest size we offer is what you can draw on a napkin.
So George, you did a great job describing our vertical enclosures for smaller debris. Is there any solutions for heavier debris capture?
That's a great question. And while we have this and it's the most commonly used, we have nettings that go from beyond this, say from about a 500-pound rated net all the way to a 27,500-pound rated net. And while they can also be deployed vertically like this, a lot of times people will deploy them horizontal, and that's the catch and capture. So if something was to potentially still fall off that scaffold or that manufacturing facility, there's going to be a net there to catch and capture that material. The beauty of this is that, you know, not only will it catch and capture the net, but it can also reduce exclusion zones. And what an exclusion zone is if something was to drop, and then it has the ability to ricochet once it hits the ground and deflect quite far away. So if you were to put a net up there to slow that force down, you can reduce your drop exclusion zone, which can make the job site a lot more productive because you can have more people working in more areas. In closing, what you see here today is just a small sampling of our debris netting line. We have multiple other products that we haven't demonstrated today, not to mention we have the ability to custom manufacture a product for whatever your particular custom application is out there. Now I want to introduce Eagle's Drop Prevention Mat. If you've ever visited a manufacturing facility or an industrial site, you will notice tens, if not hundreds of miles of this metal grating catwalk access that they have throughout their facilities. While it does a pretty good job giving access to the workers and the personnel, it does a pretty terrible job stopping nuts, bolts, washers, pins, whatever else from falling through these, sometime inch or multiple inch openings. So what Eagle created is our drop prevention mat. This mat is a lightweight, easy to deploy, durable, fire retardant mat that lays directly onto the grating below. It is also slip resistant, so once they deploy it, they don't have to worry about slipping. And the beauty of this mat is if someone was to drop a nut, a bolt, a pin, it's going to land on this mat and not fall below and cause a safety hazard. Now, while this is a sample size, these nets typically come 4x4 up to about 8x8, but Eagle has the ability to custom make a size of any shape or size for your particular work area. The last great feature of this product is how easily it can be picked up. You simply take it, fold it up, and it can be placed back in your work bag and be brought to the next place where they have to do some work. To sum it up, this is a lightweight, durable, economical safety solution that can prevent dropped objects at your industrial facility.
Now we'd like to introduce our line of total enclosures. These enclosures can be used for multiple reasons, such as cold weather conditions, keeping out hazardous materials, and environmental reasons as well. Within that line of products is reinforced poly.
And one of the first products that we talk about within reinforced poly is our woven reinforced poly. The basic way this product is manufactured is we take small strips of plastic and we weave them in a basket weave. What that basket weave does is it gives the poly additional strength when it's ripped. So think of it as a rip-stop plastic.
We also offer a string reinforced poly. The best way I can describe this, George, is two pieces of plastic sandwiched together. What I mean by that, there's a tinsel pattern that's put between the two pieces of plastic. They're heat sealed together, creating a strong reinforcement for this plastic. The benefits of this is, if there is a tear in that plastic, if it does pull, the strings will bind together, preventing the tear from continuing any further, as George will demonstrate right here.
So what I have here is a small piece of reinforced poly with a tear already in it. So if you were on a job site, and let's say a strong wind was to continue that tear, what you'll see as I continue to pull, those strings bind up, and it creates a rip stop in the poly that keeps it from tearing further. While Eagle string reinforced poly is a premium product, its pitfall comes in the installation. As Eric will demonstrate right here, he has to pick the plastic up from the inside, but access the scaffolding from the outside to install the wind clip. It is a very labor-intensive and not to mention unsafe practice to get that done. Another potential hazard of this installation method is that in high winds, these clips have a tendency to pop off. All right, let's demonstrate Eagle Scaff Light Sheeting. It's a product that delivers ease of use, more durability, and therefore better job site efficiency. Eagle Scaff Light Sheeting is superior to standard reinforced product in 3 ways. The first way you'll notice is it is a 12 mil reinforced plastic, whereas a normal string reinforced plastic is a 6 mil. This added thickness is going to deliver more durability on the job site. The second thing you'll notice are these blue bands that run along the sheeting. These blue bands are about 3.5 foot apart, start at the top of the sheet all the way down to the bottom. What you'll notice are these pre-punched eyelets as well. Those pre-punched eyelets are where you're going to connect the product to the scaffold or other structure. Now the beauty of these bands is that is an additional 12 mil of plastic. So at your connection point, which is also the weakest point that would cause a failure on the sheeting, you now have a 24 mil reinforced connection point, which is a beefier way to install this sheeting up on scaffold. The true magic of this sheeting, though, doesn't come until you get into the accessories. The first accessory is our Eagle bungee tie. And as Eric was going to demonstrate in a couple minutes here, you simply take this bungee tie, pop it through from the inside of the scaffold, not on the outside where I currently am. And when you push it through, it's going to toggle onto itself, and then you simply take the J-hook and J-hook it back onto the bungee tie, and you're connected. The second accessory we have is our Eagle screw lock. And what you do is very similar to the bungee tie you're going to be operating from inside the scaffold. You simply find where two sheets connect, and you're going to shingle those sheets. You then twist that Eagle screw lock into the first connection point, and it'll catch the second connection point, locking the two sheets together, creating a very durable job site. For a standard sheet of scafolite, you want to connect about 200 bungees every 1,000 square feet. In high wind areas, or in instances when you want to make the sheeting extra strong, we recommend about 250 bungees per 1,000 square feet. Thanks for hopping up on the scaffold and demonstrating it for us, Eric.
You got it, George.
All right, two common questions that we also get asked is how easy is it to dismantle? Answer to that is it's very simple. You simply hop up there, unhook the J-hook, and the sheeting will fall down from the scaffold. The other question we get is it reusable? And the answer to that is absolutely. You simply take the sheeting down, fold it up, keep it out the sun, and you can take it to your next job and use it without any problem.
To close, outside of scafolite's strength and durability, it installs quick, easy, and most importantly, safely.
Now I'm going to talk about our commercial and industrial tarp products, which fall under our total enclosure line. When you purchase Eagle Industry tarps, these are different than your standard blue and silver tarps that you find at your hardware store. They typically differ in about 3 different ways. The first thing you're going to notice when you purchase a tarp from us is that it's going to be a heavy-duty material. This can be more puncture resistant, it can be flame retardant, it can be more tear resistant, it can be anti-static, it can come in quite a few different colors, but you're going to get a much stronger, durable, and fabric that's going to fit the application that you're doing. The second thing you're going to notice is this black seatbelt-like webbing that we sew in at the connection points. The reason that we do this is because it offers reinforcement at the weakest point where you're connecting the tarp. The last and probably most important thing that we do to the tarp is we add internal seams. When you buy a standard tarp at a hardware store, you typically only get connection points around the outside edge. Our tarps differ because we put in custom internal seams. Now we can line those internal seams up with an existing cable, or we can place them every 5 or 10 feet where you can run additional cable or rope. But what this does is where a normal tarp would have all that fatigue and stress on the outside, we now evenly distribute that wind load that's coming onto that tarp throughout the entire tarp, not just on the outside, making the tarp last that much longer compared to anything else. To sum it all up, these tarps are better than the other tarps you would find at a hardware store because you get better fabrics, seatbelt-like webbing on the connection points, and internal seams, which makes the tarps last longer. The next product I'm going to talk about is Eagle's snow removal tarp. It's an innovative way to remove snow from a job site during winter conditions. Imagine you're at a job site, you have rebar all tied together, and a storm is going to be coming the next day. Before, you'd have to have the snow come onto the job site, pay a bunch of guys to shovel snow away, or delay the job. Now you simply take these tarps, lay them over the rebar, and you can come away and lift away the snow the next day. These tarps are built with an 18-ounce vinyl and 10,000-pound truck straps that are built in a crisscross pattern. These tarps come in a 20 by 20 to remove 400 square foot of snow, or 25 by 25 to remove 625 square feet of snow. What I'll do is I'll quickly demonstrate how the tarps operate. As you see, I flip the tarp over as you always want to deploy the tarp with the straps down. After that, you can see here we've got 2 or 3 inches of snow from the night before. You then take all 8 loops, then go get your crane, cherry picker, forklift, whatever you have access to lift this snow away, and simply lift away 400 or 625 square feet of snow in about 7 minutes. This is the fastest, easiest, most cost-effective way to remove snow off your job site. Thanks for joining us today as we introduced our job site protection product lines, use cases, and best practices.
And if you have any questions or need more information about any of the products that we offer, feel free to contact us anytime, and you can always visit our website at eagleind.com.